And now we know what would happen if you put Tim Burton in charge of an X-Men movie.
We're what's known as peculiar. You met the twins? This is Claire.
Millard, pass the ball.
Millard, you met.
Come on.
And that's you.
Stop cheating, Hugh.
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It's a movie based on a book or book series, not sure, haven't read it, about a bunch of peculiar children who have special abilities in the world that revolves in a fantastical way around them. It's a perfect group of material for Tim Burton, but how does he pull it off? Here's 5 things you might want to know about Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. So let's start with the good stuff. I really like this world. I think it's very clever. Yes, it draws on things we've seen before. Certainly there's not a lot new about the X-Men idea. Even for X-Men, it's not like that was the first property that gave superpowers to a bunch of different people in different ways. We've kind of been doing that for a while. But here, there's some real cleverness, especially in the area of how the world works, how the villains work, what the purpose of these characters are, how they decide to survive and stay alive. I found that stuff really clever and intellectually stimulating in a way that kept me through the movie, at least for that part. The other part I liked about this, though I'm going to give this a yellow as a caution because I don't think everybody will. I like Tim Burton's aesthetic, and it's all over this thing. He's got his fingerprints all over this. That creep factor, the stuff, the way that he uses mood, the way that he uses shapes, the way that he uses motion. His real life actors almost look at times as if they are shot in stop motion animation. It's kind of interesting, and I love what Tim Burton does. I love his aesthetic, and I think it works here. Now, some people may not, so just kind of a caution that it's definitely Tim Burton all the way. So I like the aesthetic. I really like this world, which is what makes it even more disappointing that I didn't really like this movie. I was trying to gauge where I was falling out of this, and I think a lot of it has to do with pacing. It's too slow. Now, there's a balance here, and Tim Burton has done it well in other movies, but I think what you have to have if you're going to keep me engaged is real story momentum. Now, that's different than the world. I can be engaged by the cleverness of the world. That's different than actually telling me a story that takes me along story points. I didn't feel like this had enough of that for the pace that it was given, so I found myself drifting away from this movie quite a bit. Another reason I fell out of it, I think, is the acting. I don't think a lot of it works. Miss Peregrine, I think the actress name is Eva Green. She seems to be all right. She seems to get the Tim Burton aesthetic, a little bit quirky, a little bit strange, but still compelling. But Asa Butterfield and many of the others just felt dead to me. They just felt like a blank slate, and I didn't believe their enthusiasm. I didn't buy in to what they were believing in this movie. When he was supposed to be excited about something he saw, I didn't really believe he was excited because of the way of that kind of backed off performance. So it just didn't work for me, and it drew me out of the movie even more. But the final thing that took me out, and admittedly this is a little bit of a nitpick for me, so we'll just give it a caution because I don't know that it'll bother everybody. Time travel annoys me because it's so hard to get right, and there's a time travel aspect to this film, and it's used in the plot in a very important way that does not make sense. But, you know, a lot of people just give time travel the benefit of the doubt and just say, hey, it's time travel, do whatever you want. I just have a hard time doing that. Overall, I feel like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children is a great world wasted. Unfortunately, because some of the performances and some of the slowness of the movie, I never could quite get enough into it to give it more than a C+. Thanks for checking out the Your Movie Friend review. We'll get to the best ever challenge here in a bit. Before we do, though, if you want to connect a little bit deeper, I would love that. You can check out other reviews, how to support the channel by clicking the button up here. You can connect with me on Twitter, Aaron Dicer, Aarondicer. Follow me on Twitter. One movie I do every weekend on YouTube is an audience choice. So the audience choice this week is Deepwater Horizon. So you can find that on the channel as well. You can also subscribe to the podcast, SiftPop, SiftPop. Every week we talk about movies, television, whatever else in pop culture we want to. Have a good time. We'd love to have you there. All right, on to the Best Ever Challenge, where we pick the best movie ever in a particular category. Love to hear your choices in the comments, and you can take a guess at mine. Always give you a clue, so here's the clue. The category first, I guess we should say. We're going to go with Asa Butterfield movies. Why not? He's done a few now. Let's talk about what his best movie is, even though he's like, what, 12? I'm kidding. I know he's older than that. My clue for my favorite Asa Butterfield movie, although there is an amazing one right at the beginning of his career, I can't help but give it to the one where Scorsese did amazing three-dimensional work. Take a guess at mine in the comments. Leave your choice there as well. First person to get mine right does get a point. And as always, here's 5 extra seconds or so. To hit subscribe, just click the logo right down in this corner.